Ray. Hello and welcome to the BNz World Report. I am your host, Angela Ray, where we will be discussing global topics and events from around the world. Our first story comes to us from CNN.com. Our Milwaukee mayor describes how things became very, very ugly quickly. Milwaukee mayor, very visibly battered, said he had been beaten with a pipe after he attempted to help a screaming woman at the state fair. Now, Milwaukee's mayor is named Tom Barrett, spoke to reporters outside of his home and said things got very, very ugly very, very quickly. So exactly what happened? Well, the Barretts were walking towards their car after an afternoon at the state fair when they heard a woman screaming. And they approached the car and found that the woman was holding a baby and screaming for someone to call 911. Well, thinking that there was something wrong with the baby, when the mayor reached for his phone, he found out that there wasn't a problem with the baby, but there was a very agitated gentleman standing by who then approached the mayor and started beating him with a pipe. And according to the report, police arrested 20-year-old Anthony Peters for assaulting both the mayor as well as the woman. And ironically, he has not been charged with anything just yet. So how did this happen with the mayor being alone at the state fair? Well, according to the mayor, he just decided at the spur of the moment that he wanted to enjoy the state fair, an afternoon of music with his family. So his security detail was not present. All right. Our next story comes to us from medicalnewstoday.com. A drug used to treat type 2 diabetes has been associated with an increased risk in heart failure. Pay attention to this one, all of my sugar diabetes patients out there. A study just published on BMJ.com reports that rosiglitazone, a drug used to increase or to regulate blood sugar levels, has been shown to have an increased risk of heart failure with elderly patients, as opposed to another drug that's also used to treat diabetes called pioglitazone. That's our word for today that we just learned. Now, according to the report, only one of those drugs actually has an increased risk of heart failure, but both are used to control insulin levels, and both have a number of side effects, including weight gain, fluid retention. Now, Jay, have you noticed that when you watch commercials about drugs that they all seem to have some kind of side effects? Yes. Yeah. I would kind of recommend that people basically take good care of themselves and, if possible, leave the drugs alone. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying stop taking your medication, but definitely be careful. All right, our next story comes to us from the WallStreetJournal.com, and the White House will outline a plan to end the Cash for Clunkers program. So if you own a car dealership out there, you might want to pay attention to this story. The Obama administration will release a plan very soon that will detail how it's going to wind down its Cash for Clunkers incentive program, signaling that one of Washington's most successful stimulus plans is coming to an end. Now, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood said that he would disclose very soon how they would be ending the $3 billion program, or at least how much money is going to be left in the $3 billion of funding. Now, he said that he would also offer a blueprint for how the administration would wind down the program to ensure that all vouchers issued by the dealers would definitely be reimbursed by the company before the program winds down. So exactly what is this Cash for Clunkers program? Well, formerly called the Car Allowance Rebate System, basically it offers government vouchers to car people who are in the market for cars. They can get anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 in rebates if they cash in a car, agree to scrap a car with a fuel economy rating of 18 miles per gallon or less, for a car rating of at least 22 miles per gallon. So again, that program is ending soon. So if you're thinking about getting a new car and using that program, now is the time to cash in. From USAtoday.com, in sports news, money on the table, Taylor about family and impact in 2009. And according to USA Today, money no longer motivates Jason Taylor in returning to the Miami Dolphins this season after the Washington Redskins honored his request for release. He lost about $7 million in the exchange. And now, according to USAtoday.com, he's back on the bargain basement salary of $1.5 million for a one-year contract, along with incentives. He said that it's time for his family and his wife to take number one priority in his life, not just his career. Okay, Jay, $1.5 million for a year. That's a bargain basement salary. Does that make sense to you?
No.
That makes sense to me. If that's a bargain basement salary, maybe we should talk to Mr. Martin about increasing our salaries to $1.5 million a year. All right. And according to the Los Angeles Times website, Obama endangering developing countries' access to affordable drugs. At least this is what activists charge. Now, in an unexpected spillover from the healthcare battle, activists in Washington and Thailand and other developing countries are accusing the Obama administration for endangering the access of affordable drugs to fight diseases like AIDS and HIV and other epidemic diseases. Now, organizations such as Doctors Without Borders as well as Oxfam International have long accused U.S.-based pharmaceutical companies and the Bush administration of impeding their efforts to make generic drugs more available to fight major diseases in poor countries. They say that they expected Obama to take a less restrictive approach. And unfortunately, right now, they are charging that those expectations have been met with disappointment. And I'm sure that we will be hearing more on this developing story in the coming weeks. And finally, homeschools are growing in North Carolina. According to a report from the newsandobserver.com, statewide, there was a total of 41,042 homeschools across the state, and that number is up from the previous year of about 38,367. So exactly what is a homeschool? Well, it's any school that's not in the public school where one or two families are gathered and the academic instruction comes from either a parent or a guardian or a member of the household of one of those two people. And that's it for this week in our BNz World Report. Just want to remind everyone, if you're looking for something to do in the Raleigh area next weekend, to join BNz and Brand News on Christopher Play Martin, who will be hosting the Soul Music Festival along with Big Daddy Kane at the Time Warner Cable Pavilion on Saturday, August the 29th. So who's going to be at this festival? All types of artists. We're going to have Monica, Genuine, Rob Bass, Charlie Wilson, Shaka Khan, Dougie Fresh, and the list goes on and on. So if you're looking for something to do, be sure to check that out. And before I go, just want to remind everybody, in our Vic Watch Report, it's official, Michael Vick has signed to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I look forward to possibly seeing him play in the first game of the regular season against the Carolina Panthers. And again, that's it for the BNz World Report this week. For more news that you can use 24 hours a day, be sure to visit our website at brandnews.com. Make it a great day. Soul Music Festival. Are you going to the Soul Music Festival? I'm getting my braids redone for